Hello and welcome. Today we are going to be looking at loops in C programming. And specifically, we shall be looking at the definition as well as why do we need loops in our programming. If you look at that kid who is going around that particular container, a question might be, how many times do you think this child will run around the container? It may be 5, it might be 10, but there's something that will make this child to stop running around the container. So the child will continue running around the container until, for instance, the child is interrupted by someone, the child may get tired, the child may fall, the child may just decide to abandon the process altogether, and so on and so forth. So when we are talking of a loop, we are simply referring to as a conditional concept that makes a particular piece of code to be executed repeatedly until a given condition is met. So in other words, what we are saying that there will be a given piece of code that will be executed multiple times, but we have to provide a condition that ensures that your program stops that particular part of the code from being executed. A loop normally has two parts. One is what we refer to as the body, and the body in this case is the code that is being executed. It equally has what we refer to as a control statement. The control statement is what normally has the condition. Let's look at an example. You could be at the entrance to a given hall, and that particular hall accommodates only 20 people. And you are allowed to let in participants into that particular hall up to the 20th participant. When we get to the 20th participant, we are supposed to stop. So that means you'll allow the first person, the second person, the third person, and you'll continue allowing participants to get in so long as we have not gotten to the 20th participant. So the control statement is the condition that has been given unto you, that only 20 participants should enter. The execution or the body of the loop is that allowing of participants to get into the hall. So we are going to look at three types of loops. One is normally called a while loop, a do-while loop, and a for loop. Why do we need a loop? If you look at that sample program that allows us to display the statement hello world 10 times, one way we can use 10 printf statements and we repeat the word hello world, hello world. Similarly, we know we can use one printf statement, but we'll be forced after the \n, we paste hello world again, hello world again, hello world again. A question might be, maybe 10 times is a little bit on the lower side. Suppose we were to display hello world 100 times, 1,000 times. We may find ourselves repeating the word hello world the same number of times. So this introduces a lot of code complexity, there's a lot of code duplication, and so on and so forth. So we are going to say that the loop allows us to achieve the same sort of results with minimal code. It helps us to reduce the amount of code that we have to write to achieve the same thing. And in other words, it reduces on the code complexity. Let's look at another example here. We are supposed to prompt for the name of an employee. You'll see that from the example to the left, when we are only capturing the name of one employee, then we only need to declare one variable, which we are calling employee1. And we prompt the user to enter the employee name. The user will enter the employee name, for example, the name Pata, and then it's going to display for us employee. And below that, it's going to display the name of the employee, which is Pata. Let's look at a scenario. Suppose we now have multiple employees. Our organization has grown and we now need to capture multiple employees. So in that given case, we'll be forced now to declare an extra variable. So in this given case, we are now having two variable names so that the first variable name employee 1 captures the name of the first employee. Employee 2 captures the name of the second employee. You're going to see some code being duplicated. We are now having two variable names to capture the names of the employee. If you look at the scanf statement, we are having two variable names so that we can capture the names of the two employees. When you look at line 8, we are again having two variable names so that we can display the two names of the employees. Now a question is, suppose we have 20 employees, 30 employees. We'll be forced to declare 30 variable names. We would be forced on line 6 to have a scanf and we put the 30 employees. We would be forced on line 8 to again put the 30 employees, employee 1, employee 2, employee 3, and so on and so forth, so that we can we can display all those particular employees, which is not a very good thing. So we are going to see how a loop helps us to achieve the same set of things with very minimal variables. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson.